Well, hello, free people of the Rocky Mountain region. This is Brandon from Free State, Colorado, and I hope you're doing well. We have another story that's making national headlines, but seems to be underreported here locally. This is important for many reasons, folks. These anti-ICE activists are tied into the larger Democratic network, as you may expect. And also, I think the juxtaposition here of how the national news media, like the New York Post, reports on this compared to some of our local news media and how they're kind of complicit in helping these anti-ICE activists, as we'll see. So let's take a look here. This is from June 23rd, 2025. Anti-ICE activists help migrant child rapist escape arrest in Colorado. What a horrible headline. I mean, absolutely horrific. This idea that there's this child rapist that escapes capture because of these activists here. Let's check it out. Anti-immigration and customs enforcement ICE activists in Denver, Colorado, managed to thwart agents trying to arrest an illegal migrant wanted in Italy for child rape. ICE Colorado said on Friday their agents were trying to detain Jose Reyes Leonderas, a criminal alien from El Salvador who was convicted of child rape in Italy, when members of a local anti-ICE group alerted him to their presence. Wow. ICE said the group, Colorado Rapid Response, posted on social media that ICE was in the area, allowing him time to flee. It's bad news, folks. This is the worst of the worst. Somebody who harms a child. Those are the kind of people that should be deported 110%. Let's jump over to ICE's X account here. This is from that June 20th, that morning at 6:56 p.m., excuse me. This morning, ICE and FBI Denver were attempting to arrest Jose Reyes Leonderas, a criminal alien from El Salvador who was convicted of and wanted for child rape in Italy. During our surveillance of Leon, members of Colorado Rapid Response arrived on the scene and alerted him. Wow, 4.7 million views. They alerted him to law enforcement presence, which allowed him to escape arrest. Groups like this interfere with ICE's ability to keep communities safe. If you know his whereabouts, do not approach. If seen, instead report all info to ICE at 1-866 347 2423. There's a picture of the guy, and they have a screenshot here of the Colorado Rapid Response, which we will take a look at. Let's jump over to Facebook and check that out. So this is Colorado Rapid Response Network. As you can see on Facebook, 54,000 followers. They've been around since 2017, created to fight back against the Trump's first administration there back then, to protect immigrants, to protect illegal immigrants from being deported. And folks, sometimes these illegal immigrants are being deported for the right reasons, maybe because they've hurt children. So check this out. June 20th, first post at 7:30 a.m. confirmed an ongoing ICE presence near Long's Peak venue in Martin Street, Longmont. The same agents that were shown in our video on Tuesday, besides these two, also a gray Malibu. We will update with a photo. Our volunteers are on site assisting the people targeted. There you go, assisting the people targeted. Well, that's this child rapist. Update June 20th, 8:28 a.m. ICE has left the neighborhood, no one detained. Volunteers confronted the ICE agents and used a bullhorn to share their rights. ICE called the police to try and intimidate our volunteers. Police arrived, took the report, and found no reason to ticket or arrest our volunteers, who were not breaking any laws. ICE never provided the police or the person being targeted with a warrant. Well, yeah, they were able to get out of there, it seems. Lots of comments here, folks. Lots of reactions. Lots of people not really happy about this situation, especially knowing that it's a child rapist, somebody convicted. So, who is this Colorado Rapid Response Network and how do they tie into the bigger political scene? Well, here's an article from 5280. Back then, this is a Denver lifestyle and news magazine called 5280, if you're not familiar, June 15th, 2017. Local immigrant groups launched 24-hour rapid response network. Picture's got a lot of young people. Of course, that's the Mi Familia Vota, one of the organizations involved with this. So you can read through this if you're interested, but there's a lot of groups that are part of this project, including the Colorado's People Alliance. They're the one that's really talked about here on the 5280 article, but they helped form this statewide immigration rapid response headline and network. Check this out here at the bottom. Thought this was interesting. 5280 says, get involved. They're advocating this. Citizens can call the number here to report any immigration enforcement activity. Those who want to volunteer for the network can sign up here. I mean, this is what the news media here does, folks. They help these organizations out, cozy relationships for sure. Here's Denver 7 from that same time period back in 2017 talking about this story. Colorado Rapid Response Network helping immigrants. I mean, this is our local newscast, folks. They're giving them a voice, giving them a platform. Colorado People's Alliance, these are left wing organizations for sure. Put their phone number up for everybody to see. People watching the Denver Nightly newscast, checking that out. So these groups are getting positive press from Denver 7, 5280, of course, 9 News as well. So you can click on their website to learn more about them there. This is that Colorado Rapid Response Network. They say they have over 1,100 people throughout the state of Colorado who are helping them track ICE activities. So there you go, folks. These people are organized and they are working to protect illegal immigrants against being deported. And unfortunately, some of those immigrants, as we know, are bad guys. So if you go in here in the About Us or the resources, stats and press, they talk a little bit about some of their background, how they were formed, all the different volunteers and dispatchers and lawyers they have helping them out. But they link to this Colorado Immigrant Rights Coalition article, which I pulled up here on archive.org so we can see the pictures. So this is June 15th, 2017, when this was created. Immigrant rights groups and allies announced the Colorado Rapid Response Network to ICE raids and rights abuses. You can see that there, but this is really one of the big groups behind it, of course, is this Colorado Immigrants Rights Coalition. It's important to know who these groups are, where their money's coming from, who they're associated with. If you scroll down to the very bottom here, they kind of give a bigger list of everybody. It says the Colorado Rapid Response Network is an effort led by the Rapid Response Team of the Immigration Resistance Table, a group of organizations that includes uh, Padres y Jóvenes Unidos, PJU, Colorado Immigrants' Rights Coalition, CIRC, Mi Familia Vota, MFV, Colorado People's Alliance, COPA, Together Colorado, FRESC, American Friends Service Committee, AFCS, United for a New Economy, UNE, and the SEIU, Local 105. So I think it's really important to pay attention because when you see these names listed on political flyers, political campaigns, or you see them on social media, it's good to know who they are. Now, I wanted to bring up this SEIU Local 15, of course, because they are as connected as it can get. You may remember hearing about them recently with Senate Bill 5, this massive expansion of union power in Colorado. Horrible, horrible bill that thankfully Governor Polis vetoed, but they were not so happy about it. And they had this huge rally at the state capitol just a couple weeks ago, and they are heavily involved in our state legislature. They have 15,000 followers on their Facebook page here. They say they have 8,000 members, union members who work in healthcare, janitors, airport, and security workers. But SEIU is one of the biggest unions in the entire country, from what I can tell, and definitely one of the most politically powerful here in Colorado. So here's pictures from their rally. This is their big press conference with Colorado Wins, Colorado AFL-CIO, towards justice to sue Jared Polis, the governor, for cooperating with ICE without lawful justification, as they say. They say Jared Polis violated a law that he signed, instructing state employees to cooperate with the Trump administration and hand over data that puts immigrants in jeopardy. It puts state workers in a terrible position and harms immigrant communities. This is unacceptable. So they'd love to thank their community allies, including Senator Julie Gonzalez, one of the most extreme far left authoritarian legislators we have here in Colorado. Now, looking at this as kind of a Where's Waldo of some of the most extreme legislators we have. But if we look through some of the photos here, you actually see Dave Young, Colorado Treasurer. A lot of people don't know how tied into the unions he is, how he is backed by these people who are really extreme in their agenda. There's Senator Julie Gonzalez, of course, Lorena Garcia, Javier Marbury, Elizabeth Velasco, Jesse Danielson. So it's definitely some of the more far left, really tied into the union legislators. This guy's not going. This guy's running for attorney general. His campaign's not going anywhere. He's as far left as they get. See Lorena Garcia there with her ripped jeans. Julie Gonzalez, Javier Marbury, as we said. So yeah, a lot of legislators involved in this. Of course, their campaigns are getting union money. The unions have a lot of power down there. And let's take a look at Tracer. So Tracer is the Colorado Secretary of State's website for tracking campaign finance reports. So I just typed in SEIU. You can see how much money they've donated over the last few years. So the largest amount that SEIU from Washington, D.C., the big national or union, $735,000 to their IEC here in Colorado just 3 years ago. $735,000. So that union dues money that people pay, thinking it's going to help them provide better working conditions, better representation to protect their jobs. A lot of it's going to these political candidates, folks. A lot of it's going to getting involved in these elections that end up getting these legislators elected who raise your taxes, restrict your rights, and create a more authoritarian society. A lot of people have soft spots for unions. I know that on the right or moderate people, because they think about the old school unions from years and years ago, where maybe some of this stuff seemed more justified. Nowadays, these unions are connected to the hip with these radical far left Democrats who really want to have total control over society. Here's just 2020, $600,000, $500,000 in 2008. I mean, this is huge amounts of money, folks. $415,000 in 2022. This is like state level races. This is not federal. This is not Congress. This is not Senate. This is our state legislature. So when people ask, why is Colorado where it's at? Why have we gone so quote unquote blue? Well, you have millions of dollars being spent from these national unions. I mean, total on Tracer right here, $10,500,000 of monetary contributions here that they've handed out over the years. A lot of money, even just recently, so a lot of these legislators in Colorado want to play nice with them on the Republican side, but folks, they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars against you. Colorado Labor Action, $150,000, of course, targeting key races to try and get people like Stephanie Vigil, Mary Young, and others elected. Thankfully, they lost. 2024, another $100,000 to Altogether Colorado. The Colorado Working Families Party, IEC, $100,000. So it's a big network, folks, of a lot of union money coming into Colorado from Washington, D.C., and a lot of these people are involved at that level. And we see the consequences of this with a group that they are helping to support, helping to fund, helping to start. And these anti-ICE activists help this child rapist escape. So interesting stuff, folks. Just wanted to connect some of those dots, kind of share the bigger story there, because traditional news media does not want to talk about anything like this. But really appreciate your time today. Again, Brandon from Free State, Colorado. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.